All right, we're live late on a Saturday night. What's up, everyone? Welcome back. J-Bone here for Smash This Podcast. Oh, yeah. It's been a fun yet very interesting weekend as we crack a cold one here late. We're going to talk some Ring Warriors, catching up on that. Didn't review it this past week, so we're doing a two for tonight. We're going to talk about episodes 5 and 6, trying to catch up with it because I do think this is a show worth talking about. And it's been getting better by the week. You know, like last week's was kind of I don't want to call it a hot mess because that sounds really bad. But it was a lot of really quick, short matches, and some of the camera work was a little, I'll just say, off. Like in the women's tag match, you didn't catch the finish, and all of a sudden there was a winner. So that was just a bit of a turnoff. But I don't want to start off with all negative here. Let's talk about it. The episode starts out with Santana Garrett with going up against Nicole Savoy, and out with her is Allison Danger and Desi Dorada, Danger Inc. Danger Inc. has really been on a roll lately. They're 2-0 going into this, having matches with Santana Garrett and Melissa Anderson. Now, the ref they always pick for this one always ends up seems like he's on the short end of the stick as far as like he shouldn't do women's matches. That's what it's starting to look like. Oh man. It's kind of like what would I compare it to? Kind of like Hebner doing the knockouts matches in Impact Wrestling. After a while, it was like, oh no, he just shouldn't be out there with them because he just too distracted, too something, too easily manipulated. That's a good way to put it. But nonetheless, they start to beat down Santana Garrett. Melissa Anderson comes out for the rescue, turns into a tag match. So then you've got Santana Garrett and Melissa Anderson versus Nicole Savoy and Desi Dorada, still with Allison Danger at ringside. Danger Inc. comes out with a win. They are 3-0, folks. They are 3-0. And if they get going somewhere in the soon to near future with a women's Ring Warriors Championship, say tournament or whatever, it's looking like Danger Inc. is going to be riding high for a while. It's just very interesting because you usually see a little bit of 50-50 booking, but since the inception of this show, Danger Inc. has been unstoppable. So it's very interesting how they're doing this. But I like it. It's a little different, you know. Usually it's Santana Garrett will get a win, then Desi Dorada will get a win from from Danger Inc. and back and forth a little bit. But no, it's been all Danger Inc. So then we see a trailer for what looks like a documentary it's called Journeyman. And a lot of it's focused around a guy from the Slambinos, Francisco Ciazzo, I believe that's his name, in the Slambinos. And I don't know if this is something that's going to come out soon. I looked it up on YouTube, and it came out several months ago, the first trailer, and that's what's airing now. And it was on today's Ring Warriors episode as well. So it premiered on 5 and 6. I don't know if this is something that they're going to show on WGN to coincide with this, because it's someone from the show is in the documentary. I don't know. I don't know much about this. I'm going to try to do a little more research on this and see what's going on with this. But I'm very curious. I mean, it's something kind of looks like a real life version of like The Wrestler. If you ever saw The Wrestler movie with Mickey Rourke, incredible movie. And in fact, I haven't watched that in a long time. I've got the DVD. Got the DVD back here somewhere. But anyways, yeah. So I'm very curious about this Journeyman documentary. Looks pretty cool. I mean, it's all based on indie stuff and travels and ups and downs and stuff. So it's it's real life stuff. So kind of pulls the curtain back a little bit. But if you like that, I'm going to be looking into more of it. This next one is, I'll call this next one a hot mess. It's a 3-on-3. You've got the 1% tag team of Jarrell Nelson and Royce Isaacs, along with Chris Bay. Chris Bay really getting a lot of air on this show lately, and I like it. I like what I see in him. Along with Brown and Associates, you got Michael Tarver, Monster, Kahagas, along with a third guy that was kind of a mystery guy that they were talking about. And then they introduced him, and if I screw this name up, I greatly apologize. It's a Japanese guy from DDT over in Japan. Yeah, they think they call it DDT Pro. I think it's something I've heard of. Shigehiro Irie. I think it's close. If it's wrong, I apologize. But it's someone new. So but this match lasts only a few minutes long. This new guy, Shigehiro, gets the win with they call it a beast bomber clothesline. I mean, he just flips a guy inside out. Beats he pinned Chris Bay, I believe. Yeah. So that was really quick. I mean, I really wanted to see more out of this, but it happened so fast. It was over so fast. It was like, oh, that's it. I was still writing down names and it was over. So crazy. We get a little better tag team match out of Cassidy Riley, Chase Stevens, the Hot Shots versus the Slambinos, which is Francisco Ciazzo, RJ Janaza with Glenn Gilberti, formerly known as Disco Inferno, coming out as the manager. And they've been putting out these little comedic little skits with the Slambinos here and there, about every other week, some goofy stuff, and I like it. I like it. It throws a little comedy in there, a little goofy Italian stuff. Usually there's such a serious crew or whatever, but no, they're throwing in some silliness here. So it's a lighter side of the show. I like it. Hot Shots getting a win out of this one. Slambinos just can't get going on the show. They really can't. They've had a pretty rough shot. A week or two ago, they got messed up. A couple weeks ago, they got messed up pretty bad from that Reverend. Was that the Prophecy? The Reverends group? Oh man. So Yeah, rough start for the Slambinos on this show. Hot Shots get a win with a Russian leg sweep clothesline combo. That looked pretty sweet. Not gonna lie. Hot Shots with the win. And then another the first of the two semifinals matches from last week, Jeff Cobb versus Wes Briscoe. Jeff Cobb coming out with a win in this one, but he wasn't looking good in this match. He had a banged up shoulder and was paying a lot of attention to it. Wes Briscoe was too. But Jeff Cobb moves forward in this semifinal grand championship tournament match. Then they advertise the Alex Chamberlain versus Eli Drake, along with Aries defending his Impact Championship. Aries getting a lot of attention this week in the news. Not so good either. So I'm really curious to see how he is on this show and how other people talk about it. And it's not a knock on the show. I just haven't seen a lot of people talk about it yet. So, but as the show goes on, I'm sure more and more people are going to talk about it because the roster seems pretty cool. The roster seems cool. They got a lot of Impact guys on there, a lot of guys from the West Coast, a lot of new faces. I'm liking it. Andre is up late and he's in the chat. What is up? Oh, is that even English? Mother trucking, crock sucking pieces of lint. That's a joke because usually when I'm on here, people are uncensored, and that's fine, but YouTube censors my chat, and then I show it. So it always is a little chuckle on here on YouTube. So good evening, Andre. How are you doing? Good to see you here this late Saturday evening. Hope all is well with you. I saw your interview with, I saw you put up an interview with Kevin Sullivan. I'm going to put that on my to-do list. I'm going to check that out. That'd be pretty cool. Him being a part of MLW that I've been reviewing lately. Curious to see what you guys talk about. So that's Ring Warriors number 5 from last week that I'm catching up on. This week that I just got done watching starts out with a 3-way. This episode, I will say, is probably one of the strongest ones I've seen since this show's inception. Starts out, it only had 3 matches, and they were pretty lengthy matches, and not a lot of stuff in between. It was just straight, okay, match, you know? So for an hour show, that's solid, you know? So Ring Warriors number 6 from today. Actually, it's, you can call it yesterday now, but from Saturday. I still call it Saturday night. When I wake up the next day, then it'll be Sunday morning, okay? So, of course it is. I'm not skipping a day here. Anyways, so it starts out with a 3-way here. Martin Casaus doing his best crazy. Oh, my God. He is great on here. I mean, he can't call himself Marty the Moth Martinez because that's a Lucha Underground commodity, you know. But he's still the same Marty. He comes out, Martin Casaus, and he's, you know, he's loony, goofy, crazy, unhinged, if you will. So we got Martin Casaus. Oh, it starts out with a interview with Ken what's his name? Ken Resnick? Classic guy. The more I see this guy, it just brings back memories to seeing him and all the classic stuff I used to watch as a kid in wrestling. And he was in several different companies. He was in WWF. He was in, I believe, World Championship Wrestling, and he's still doing it. And the fact that he's on here just adds, I'll say it adds a piece of class to this show. It really does. It really does. And he still does it well, too. It's not like, oh, God, he's on here. Oh, he's still doing it. He doesn't look. No, he does it well. I mean, watching him now over these last handful of this new show, Ring Warriors, I'll put him up there with Okerlund. Okay? He brings a classic feel to the show and does it well. So that is, I would say that's a huge compliment to this show. So yeah, I'm digging it. But he has an interview with Martin Casals, and Martin Casals starts out the interview by asking him if he's ever ripped wings off of a fly before. Oh, that's just kind of, ooh, it puts a chill down your spine when you think about it. Andre says that Kevin Sullivan is about the rise and the fall of Florida Championship Wrestling, but lots of the interview covers MLW going into promo mode on the Hart Foundation. 37 minutes full interview tomorrow. Nice. We'll be looking forward to that. If you want to watch that, go click on that face right there. Andre's been in the interviewing biz and talk about wrestling for a long time. Proud founder of the WrestlingWithWrestling.com. Go there for all of your wrestling needs. You got podcasts, you got interviews, you got reviews from 40 plus different contributors. It's a growing site. It's great content. My stuff is on there too. Since I can't find Ring Warriors via stream, please feel free to post this if you want, my friend. All right, we'll do. Yeah, it's not easy to find if you don't have it's like a regular basic cable station here in America, WGN. And I haven't seen it streamed anywhere else. But I think I've heard that they're looking into getting it out there in a few different ways. So if that means they're going to put it on YouTube, which I think would be great, similar to how MLW does it, because not everyone has the beIN Sports network channel package, whatever you call it. So that's how I get my MLW, my Major League Wrestling. I watch the YouTube videos a day after it's on TV, and then I review it on Monday nights on right here. So I'm hoping Ring Warriors does something similar to that. I think that would really help expand their not viewing, but just getting the word out, because it is a decent show. I think more and more people are going to be watching it sooner rather than later, considering, let's just say I saw a few spoilers about something that's coming up from the recent tapings. Yeah, something big's coming to Ring Warriors, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to spoil it. If you really want to look for it, you can find it. It's not that hard to find, but and it makes me happy too. That's all I'm going to say. So yeah, let's talk about this before I get more distracted. Ring Warriors, number 6. Okay, so we got Martin Casals versus Wes Briscoe versus Hammerstone. Great three-way match. And I think that's a first for the show. That's the first three. Not that it's like a really weird, significant thing, but it's usually been tag team or one-on-ones or three-on-threes. But this is a three-way. Wes Briscoe coming out with the win here. And they were saying that all three of these guys were in the Grand Championship tournament. So it was going to be interesting to see who came out a winner here. And I like Wes Briscoe, but I don't think I was picking him to win this one. He was down and out for a good chunk of this match down next to the ring, what do you say, licking his wounds, whatever. Or what do they say? Taking a powder? I don't know. But he was pretty beat down a good chunk of the match. Interesting watching Martin Casals and Hammerstone going back and forth. And the more I see Hammerstone, the more I'm really impressed with him. This is a guy who I think is going to be significant in the success of this show. I look at Hammerstone, and I've said this before, but I'm reiterating it for those who may not have heard it in other reviews of the show of mine. I look at Hammerstone, and I see this in a few of the guys on this show, and this is a compliment. I see a real classic look and feel to this guy as far as the way he presents himself, his in-ring style, his charisma. I look at Hammerstone and I see like almost a classic. You see a little bit of Hogan, you see a little bit of Luger, you see a little bit of because he's got the long blonde hair and he doesn't act like Hogan. There's just certain things I see in the guy, mannerisms, in-ring style, charisma. This Hammerstone is going to be someone to I think he's going to be one to help carry the show. I really think so. Right, WGN. Oh, okay. Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of ways to get your content now. I mean, you've got YouTube TV, you've got Roku, all these other little sticks you can get, and then you get a little component with it. It's kind of like supposed to be a substitute for cable, and you can get all the stuff just streaming through the internet or whatever. There's all sorts of new stuff out there. I'm trying to keep up with it. It's really hard to. It's for those who want to cut the cord and not have cable or dish. I had dish. It sucked. Do you live somewhere out in the desert where you've got, decent weather all the time? That's one thing. I live in Wisconsin. You don't want a dish in Wisconsin where it's raining and or snowing all the time. Hell no. Paid $90 for this stick, and it gives us even more channels than cable. 2 sticks for $90, to be honest. Huh. Interesting. Well, when my contract's up with this, I'll look into that. Was it Roku or was it something else? Let me know, Andre. I'm very curious. Yeah, because you get like 900 channels on cable, but who the hell watches 900 channels? You watch like a handful at best. I'd rather pay for what I watch and forget the rest. All right, back to the show. Captain ADD over here drinking on a Saturday night. Thanks for joining in. That was the chair. That was not me. Just saying. All right. Then we've got the man who is really throwing his name into a load of controversy this week. Girlfriend, I'm not smart enough to know any of this shit. So what you're saying, Andre, is you're going to ask your better half. I hear you. Hey, I've got one of those too. Tracy, my wife, is always going to be my better half. So Austin Aries, Impact champion. For those who are a little confused or out of the loop, Bound for Glory was this past Sunday. Okay, a week ago. By the time most people watch this, Johnny Impact won the championship from Austin Aries. On this show, though, because this was taped a month ago, a month to 2 months ago, not real sure, but it's pretty recent. Excuse me. Austin Aries is still the champ on this show. And they keep calling him like 10% owner, and that's a very interesting thing. I've never seen like someone featured on the show and have them wrestle and have them called owner. I mean, it's really something different. So we'll see where this goes with him. Because I've heard these little things that he's like sporting a loose cannon gimmick. We'll see if he continues this on Ring Warriors. If he stays on the show, I don't know what they're going to do. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to assume anything. This is professional wrestling. You never should assume anything. So Luke Hawx, because he was distracted a few weeks ago during the Grand Championship tournament from Austin Aries, he called him out and wanted to challenge him for his Impact Wrestling Championship. So these two actually had a pretty decent match, though Luke Hawx oh, that's right. He actually won. I was thinking he beat Luke Hawx. It's late. I'm tired. I apologize. No, Luke Hawx actually won with a countout because Vince, young Vince, the guy who Aries beat on like episode 2, I believe it was, the first challenge, and he lasted like 3 or 5 seconds in the match, whatever, plus a 3 count. It was like 2 moves and a finish. That's it. Vince showed up ringside and was trying to prevent Austin Aries from grabbing the Grand Championship that was sitting at ringside and him using that as a weapon. And those two got into it, which caused him to stay out of the ring too long. What's also interesting about this is Austin Aries didn't bring any of his championships to ringside. So basically canceled the Impact Championship factor of the match. So Luke Hawx got a big nope. You're not going to be champ. But he won. And I'm not sure about the rules to Ring Warriors wrestling yet. Do you win a championship by count out? I don't know. But a championship was not available at ringside, so but he still got to win. So Luke Hawx, ring veteran, gets a win over Austin Aries. Decent match though. Oh, and then Chris Bay showed up and attacked Austin Aries because he lost to Austin. What was it? 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. So yeah, he's been featured a lot on the show. I like Chris Bay. I also heard he just lost to Kevin Cross in Maverick Pro out in California within the last day or two. Is it today or yesterday? We'll just say this weekend. Chris Bay lost his championship. So, but nonetheless, the more he's also in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, I believe, and that's on the Fight Network. He's been on there a lot too. So yeah, Chris Bay getting his face out there. Good for him. Rising star in professional wrestling and on TV now to boot. Not bad. The main event of this, the second semifinal match of the Grand Championship Tournament. For Ring Warriors, we get Eli. Oh, I did that wrong. Eli Drake versus Alex Chamberlain. Good match between these two. Eli Drake coming out on top of this one with a big old gravy train. Funny little thing during the matches when Alex came out to the ring, he approached one of the young vixens at ringside, the little the ones who have been at ringside every week. The what do you call them? The pageant girls, wherever they're from, whatever pageant they're from. And Alex seems to be with one of them or attracted to one of them. Hard to say what the situation is there. But kissed one of the ladies' hands, and then she pulled him back for a smooch. That could have thrown him off for the whole match. I know it would have affected me. You know, trying to get your head in the game for a semifinals match, and you got, you know, pageant girls smooching you. Ooh, all right. Postpone the match. Not going to happen. And then, partway through the match, Eli Drake approaches this pageant girl. And she wants nothing to do with Eli Drake. Eli Drake, you know, being one of those guys who's looks like he could pretty much get any girl he wanted. And she wants she wants none of the gravy. Hell no. She wants none of that gravy. But yeah, poor Alex puts up a good fight. Good match. But he gets a gravy train for his troubles. Eli Drake comes out with a win. So next week, we are getting Jeff Cobb versus Eli Drake in the finals for the Ring Warriors Grand Championship Tournament. Cannot wait to see Jeff Cobb versus Eli Drake. So yeah, highly recommend this show. It's, you know, it's got its imperfections. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. Just like me. But as the week goes on, the weeks go on, and more people are going to be talking about it because of who's on it. Because there are some significant names on this show. You've got Impact Wrestling stars on this show. The Champ is on the show. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how Aries is tied in with this. Is he going to be the same on here as he was on Impact Wrestling, the loose cannon that everyone is talking about? I don't know. We will have to wait and see. What's coming up for Smash This Podcast? We've got the NWA 70th anniversary show. I'm going to try to catch that tomorrow. Cody versus Nick Aldis. 2 out of 3 falls, I believe. They've got a new national championship. 8 people going for it. And then I believe they've also got tag team and women's action to boot too. So pretty loaded show for a NWA 70th anniversary. Excuse me. Wow, I'm tired. Think I'm going to have to check that out. What's going to be interesting is I think what happens in the Cody versus Nick Aldis match is going to be very telling as far as the future of Cody coming up in 2019. I'm hearing all these, like the idea of a national champion. Yeah, I mean, the 10 pounds of gold is literally going all over the world over the course of the last year. It's impressive. China, Europe, the United States, the North American continent. So it is a world championship. The national championship will be featured. We'll see where it all gets featured. But obviously the NWA brand is growing. And, it's had a slow start. But I think things are going to be picking up now. They are going to have 3 to 4 championships featured on this show. Not bad. Not bad at all. Billy Corgan really moving things along now, it looks like, with the NWA, especially with Cody on the top of things here. Can't wait to see that Jazz match, too. I forget who she's facing, but good old Jazz, the NWA Women's Champion. She is quite the badass. Still kicking ass. Good to see. So that's going to do it for this one. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday evening / Sunday, whatever you're catching up with. Smash this podcast with me. I may go live tomorrow night, depending on how I feel and everything else. Your neck of the woods is just outside the national championship title defense role. And that's the thing. I don't know if it's strictly United States or if it's the North American continent. I don't know. But from what I've heard, it's just United States. I could be wrong. I got some catching up to do on some NWA stuff. So we'll see. We'll see, Andre. We'll see. But hey, you still may get the 10 pounds of gold up your direction sometime. But it's got to come to Milwaukee first. Deal? Chi-Town's probably the closest it's going to come. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll talk some other stuff too. I've been meaning to talk about the SmackDown 1000th episode too. Not all of it, just a couple of key things on there I felt like talking about. I think they're worth talking about. It was an interesting show. I actually watched it. It was okay. Not going to say it was great, but I'll say it was okay. So good night, all. We'll see you guys tomorrow or later today. Whatever. Peace.